What did you take away from today's show? Is it contagious? Call now. 800-696-1053. Text 36105 or at Kevin Klein Live.
Live 105.
We decided to speed up the show, and we thought it'd be good to just go on the air and say hello, and then go ahead and wrap it up and take your takeaways. So you got a lot to pull from.
I take away that it's going to be a great show.
We were off to one of our finest starts ever. 7 technical glitches have impacted Live 105 before 6:11 in the morning.
Okay, here we go, everyone.
Let's officially kick off the show, and then who the hell knows what you're going to get for the next 4 hours.
Good morning, good morning. It's great to stay up late.
Okay, everyone, drum roll. No, that's not really a drum roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, all guests are encouraged to request the host or hostess of their choice.
Mornings will never be the same. Ish.
God, I love this kind of talk. Gets me aroused. Sorry, I meant roused. No, I meant aroused. Aroused.
Kevin Klein Live is recorded before a live studio audience.
San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose.
Kevin.
The bullying will continue, and the show will get better.
Valley.
I had a couple of beers.
The following program contains scenes of extreme violence and nudity of a sort that may prove disturbing and offensive. Therefore, this is for mature audiences only.
All right, I gotta get going. I gotta go make noises out of my face hole or whatever it is I do.
Kevin Klein Live. We're sorry.
All right, calm down.
What the hell was that?
They're calling it the biggest storm of the season. It's hitting the Bay Area today. Everyone just
Are they
hunker
calling
down.
it that?
Of course they're calling it that. They call it that every time.
The storm of the millennium.
Anytime there's a little bit of drizzle, that's what they call it. They get excited about this. Look, I don't know how much money is spent just in this building on weather equipment, weather predicting equipment, Live 105, I think, has one van or one truck that drives around to go to events, and it's pretty crappy, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty old too.
Yeah, I think they need to upgrade.
I've seen no less than like a fleet of totally tricked out mobile weather stations
And
that TV has.
Right, and we're not even allowed on the top floor, and that's probably where the helicopters land.
We can't even access that floor. We don't have access to the top 2 floors of this building, as a matter of fact. So lots and lots of money, expenses, and that's why when there's actually something pouring in, something coming into the Bay Area, they get super excited because they're like, finally, we can go ahead and explain why we needed 11 weather vans and
3 helicopters.
the Doppler 4 million radar system. But that is why even here at this cheap radio station, they've given us access to professional weather reporters that we'll be checking in with that are actually out and about all around the Bay Area today to make sure people are properly prepared for what they're calling the beginning of El Nino. It starts today. Welcome, El Nino. Entrar.
Trump would not agree.
No, go back. Let's check in with our. I'm not sure we've never met a lot of these weather guys because they don't work for us, but very professional operation we're running here at Live 105 today as we check in on the streets of the Bay Area. Hi.
Curfew is underway right now. You are not to be on the streets. It is against the law now. There's a complete travel ban. If you are not an emergency crew, you're not covering this. You see this emergency vehicle coming up right next to me. That's all we're seeing. National Guard just drove by. They are enforcing this curfew.
What? Oh, we lost him.
Oh, okay.
Well, it sounds...
He's probably in the sunset. It sounded like it.
That's just the Castro. The weather's fine. That's a typical night there. That seems a bit excessive.
It's a travel ban.
That escalated rather quickly. It just, to me, looks like some drizzle out there. But for whatever reason, people are saying it's the big one.
They're playing it up a little bit, I think.
We'll have to check back with that guy later on. Let's make sure he goes.
If he's still around.
Anchors himself to his weather truck so he doesn't blow away. That seems pretty drastic out there.
Very aggressive.
Man, I didn't realize it was going to be that bad.
It didn't seem that bad driving in.
A full-on traffic ban of the National Guard. Man. Well, I didn't see any of that on my way in this morning. In fact, I don't even think my wipers turned on. But apparently, it's the whole thing. So be aware, okay? Just want to let everyone know the El Nino arrives today. The storm of the millennium will be here. But let's not sensationalize it just for ratings.
But when it was... what constitutes it being a storm and really horrendous? Because it can be really windy. The wind was really bad last night. I woke up from it. But if it's not raining, then it's kind of like, who cares, right? Because then you're like, it's just windy out.
The only thing that makes it a storm is when the news decides to make a special graphic for it. And they've decided to make a special graphic for it, which means it's a storm. Okay? Spent a lot of time doing that, and they're not going to take it back now. Now, we will get into the battle later on this morning, the he cray and the she cray, but I found this fascinating. Science
Women are crazy.
No. But yes, well, that's true. I don't find that fascinating anymore because that becomes obvious. But they have found now that science has found, the reason that men are better at getting places than women in general is because we have caveman tendencies.
Oh, my God.
And caveman instincts. Science has now proved this.
It's because I had to hunt lions while you were sitting in the cave.
That is exactly right. While you were sitting in the cave watching the Real House Cave Wives of whatever the hell season that was.
Real House Cave Wives.
My lineage was out there hunting lions and having to figure out how to get them and then how to get home again. And you think it's a joke and it sounds incredibly sexist, but absolutely not. It's true. In fact, listen to this. They did an experiment to see if there was any truth to this. And they found out this is through 18 men and 18 women. And when there's almost 40 people involved.
I know, what the hell? That's not even 20.
Well, most of the women couldn't find the research center, to be fair. They didn't arrive.
I don't know. Where's my show? I want to watch it.
They handed goggles and joysticks and asked them to take part in 45 different 30-second navigation tasks inside of a 3D maze. So they were able to see how the men navigated through this maze and how the women did.
Okay.
Now, what they found was interesting. The men were able to almost 100% successfully complete this maze. Most of the women ended up just getting lost and then crying in the corner of the maze.
And eating chocolate. They found chocolate.
Yeah, they found sweatpants and chocolate. And they sat in the corner of the maze and they cried and they said, why does nobody call me back? Then the second time they did the exact same study, they secretly gave the women a little edge, a tiny drop of testosterone. And every single time the women were given a little bit of testosterone, they were able to complete the maze more successfully. So they have found that there's something in the testosterone, which makes me think that...
Okay, but then that's testosterone. That's not your natural instincts.
Well, that's all encapsulated within. That's all in the testosterone is pretty much just caveman juice.
Yeah, but I feel like back in the caveman days, women had way more testosterone than they have now. You know what I mean? I bet they could have slashed a mountain lion just as easily as a man.
I don't know.
They just wouldn't have been able to find it.
It says, yeah. Why do you keep slashing? The mountain lion's 5 feet over there. Oh, I couldn't find it. Slashing at the air.
I found this chocolate, though, in these sweatpants.
It's amazing. It's sweatpants here. Well, anyway, that's what science has shown. I just found it to be quite interesting because, like, I have a horrible sense of direction. I mean, it's really bad.
I mean, I'm
really
like listening to this and thinking that I don't think you could do any of those things.
And all of us, I think, are getting worse and worse as a result of the fact that I don't even make rational decisions anymore because if my phone says turn here, I'll turn there. And if it doesn't say turn here, I just keep going straight.
Even if it's off of a bridge or something.
And even if I know that, like, I've done this drive a million times and I know that I don't turn here, but it's like, turn now.
You're like, you know best, computer.
Yeah, you don't want to get annoyed. You don't want to get, it's so super annoying, too, because when you don't do it, it'll just get, make a legal U-turn. Make a legal U-turn. That is like, that is the opposite of my mating call.
So condescending about it, too.
And it gets like more and more and louder. So I just do it just to shut her up. And even though I know it's not necessarily the right thing to do. And that is interesting, though, that if they know this, why are so many of the voices on car GPS systems and even why are they females?
Because we're the comforting ones. We guide the men. That's our job.
Science has shown that this is a man's world when it comes to finding things.
Turn left here, you big, strong man.
Oh, well, when you say it like that, that's pretty hot. I'm into that. All right, hey, here's a song we haven't played in a while. Live 105. Come back in a second, find out what's trending. We're here. It's raining. It's Live 105. Snow Patrol on your Live 105. Good morning to you, and interact with the show starting immediately. 800-696-1053. Important numbers that you will need throughout the show today if you want to score yourself some of the final pairs of golden tickets and regular tickets to Live 105's Not So Silent Night happening tomorrow. Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. That really came up quick. Anyway, that'll be tomorrow night, and look forward to hanging out with all of you. It starts a lot earlier than I thought.
Yeah. I'm not going to get much sleep tomorrow.
My wife was like, what time you think we have to be? What time you have to be at Oracle? I said, I don't know, 8:30, 9 o'clock or something. And
okay, that's a little late.
And they had this meeting yesterday to tell us where we're supposed to be and when. And the show starts, I think the doors open at 4:30.
The doors, yeah, that's the doors. And we're going to be there way before that.
And they want us there at like 2. I think we have to leave the show early tomorrow to get there, to be honest. I was like, what do we have to do for so... I don't know.
I know, I had the same conversation with my girlfriend.
It seems unnecessary. I mean,
be there when?
Yeah, it's like... I mean, I get it, I guess, but I don't know. It just seems like it's going to be a lot.
Well, we have to pull an all-nighter. It's not 2 nights anymore. We got to go hard and strong for one night.
Cramming it all in, and hopefully you will be out there. It'll be great to hang with you, and some surprises that we have in store. And it'll just be fun to walk around and say hi. Before we get into what is trending right now. Oh, so people on the text line?
Yeah, someone just pointed out that I like how Allie includes herself as part of the women when her dong pic last week proves that she has much more testosterone than most men.
Allie has such a great sense of direction with both of her dongs. They actually will point.
Sometimes they point in different directions, so it's confusing.
But man, oh man, you have no idea. You get to see those with your own eyes if you come to Live 105's Not So Silent Night. And boy, will that be impressive.
Someone else is very happy that Stormwatch is back.
Well, I'm glad that they're glad because we spent a lot of effort to get all of our weather team around the Bay Area, and we have another check-in right now. Sounded pretty bad before, but we have another reporter now on the east side. Yes, what's happening out there?
They want everybody who doesn't have a reason to be outside inside their homes. You heard from the mayor who said a number of people haven't left. That worries them, but at this point, if you haven't left, don't go out.
Okay, you heard it. Don't go out.
That's already.
If you haven't left, don't go out. All right, this is some storm. It's affecting us all. It's El Nino.
That guy's like, the weather report is worth dying for.
We are supposed to take this storm quite seriously, even though it translates into English as the boy. But it's something to be aware of. Something to be well aware of. All right, let's find out
angry boy.
What is trending right now with our pal Trendosaurus, who will be with us tomorrow night at Live 105's Not So Silent Night, out in the public.
Okay. So his name is Michael Vitar, but most Americans know him as Benny the Jet Rodriguez. He was the boy who beat the Beast in the movie The Sandlot. But now he's just been arrested because he beat a person.
Oh.
It's actually... this actually happened over Halloween, but he's just now being charged and arrested for attacking a man who was giving candy to children on Halloween. He claims he saw a weirdo skipping down the street on Halloween handing candy to kids. Naturally, an adult giving Halloween candy to kids is not that weird. But
on Halloween, it's not.
Halloween.
Any other? Was it this guy?
Yeah.
You can't help it. I mean, I gave children suckers 23 years ago.
That's not that guy,
This
right?
man was 22 years old.
Oh,
so
okay.
I think maybe his son.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. So he beat up a guy.
But this man, so this guy was skipping down the street on Halloween, handing out candy to kids. They claim that the guy was acting suspiciously, bizarrely, and might have even been on drugs. And after the man refused to leave when he was confronted by Benny the Jet Rodriguez and his firefighter buddies, because I guess that's what he does now, they chased him down and they choked him out.
Oh, God.
And then the victim, though, said that he was just visiting his grandmother's house, which makes me think if he's skipping down the street and saying he's visiting grandmother's house, that he doesn't have all of his marbles. But still, I mean, they have to do something. You have to at least assault somebody to warrant a choke out.
364 days of the year, you watch an adult handing candy to strange children, you probably can do a citizen's arrest or choke them out. But that's the one night that you just can't do that. And if you're a huge celebrity like the star of
Michael Vitar,
the star of The Sandlot, then and you know the guy's got no fear because he got that ball back from that very
mean dog.
Very mean dog. So you think the guy...
He's just doing what's right, man. He's just continuing to try and do what's right.
But I got to say, there's a guy that probably, I don't know if he was tired of acting, but no one's thought of this guy or talked about this guy in years. And now he gets a lot of attention because he chokes out a guy who's giving candy to kids, and maybe that's what you need to do. So the rest of the guys in Sandlot, all you got to do is start choking people, and you will become relevant again.
Exactly.
So get ready,
have
fat
a career
redhead.
revamp.
It's time for the fat redhead to strike. Beware.
You're killing me, Smalls guy? All right, Facebook put out a big year in review list of all the trending topics people talked about the most this year, then the top check-in locations all around the world. Biggest topic throughout the U.S. has been presidential race, and the top show that's been talked about is Game of Thrones, followed by Walking Dead. Top movie that's been talked about all year long is Star Wars. The most checked-in locations list: it really shows that business wins over nature in this world because of all the wonders in the world. Disney parks and Universal Studios were the top 2 checked-in locations. Times Square was number 3, the Eiffel Tower was number 4, and then the first natural wonder comes at number 5 with Niagara Falls.
Well...
Fine. I can't afford to go to Times Square. I'll go to Niagara Falls.
Canadian side or American side? Does it say?
It doesn't say, actually.
There's a very big difference.
I bet there is a big difference.
Well, the view stinks from Canada. No, it's not true. I spent New Year's Eve there one time.
You did?
Yeah, and it...
I've never been there. I've always wanted to go.
You know, they make it so it's impossible to park anywhere near the falls, and so you end up parking and then trying to run before you get a ticket. So you can run and get your quick picture and then run back to the car.
But there's no parking around there?
Yeah, I don't know. But then it gets all icy, so you end up just seeing a bunch of people try to like double park and sprint, and then they fall in the ice.
Oh, maybe that's what's being checked. Maybe that's the check-in.
Yeah, that's a much better picture. Everyone's seen Niagara Falls, but you know what's funnier than that is tourists falling. So that's probably the most popular thing.
Okay, so it's about the tourists then.
I think I'm actually impressed by the country that the most checked, the most search term you're trending is political, as opposed to like a Kardashian or one of the other dumb things that we don't talk about on the show.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
Squirrel milkshake was very close.
Oh, damn it! I tried. Tried to be positive.
Yep. All right. While people are lining up to see the Warriors at Oracle Arena, and the Board of Supervisors is unanimously okaying their new stadium in San Francisco, Oakland Coliseum isn't exactly experiencing the same demand. In fact, they've resorted to covering leaks in the stadium with concessions cups that have been taped to the ceiling. Some reporters were there recently and tweeted pictures of several Pepsi cups being used to catch water. I guess the staff couldn't spare any pots and pans. They had to use concessions cups. But a rep from the Coliseum called the photos unfortunate and said, "It doesn't look great for us, but there's not a bigger issue and fans should still come out."
I think we have one of our reporters there actually at the Coliseum
really?
Right now. Yeah. Hey.
Curfew is underway right now. You are not to be on the streets. It is against the law now.
Okay, that's enough of that. Thank you.
We're going to be there tomorrow, so I hope it clears up.
Curfew's always in place. That's wonderful. All right, well, thank you for that. As you know, we're taking the weather quite seriously today on the show. Weather reports all over the place. That's what people love talking about. And as Game of Thrones was the most searched show, we will give you this Game of Thrones weather update. They are the finest meteorologists, and they've been doing it in made-up lands for years.
Now it's time for your Game of Thrones weather forecast.
I'm cold. Winter is coming.
This has been your Game of Thrones weather report.
I should dial more carefully. Apparently, our number, when people try to call us, 800-696-1053. I don't know which number it is, but if you misdial by 1, you get a phone sex line.
Awesome.
I didn't even know those things still existed, to be completely honest. It seems like such a dated technology now.
And it makes me surprised that we haven't gotten more people that think they're calling a sex line.
Yeah, I know. Those would be the people you would think would be...
That's why I want to talk to.
Would be preoccupied by other things, like making sure they've got their beach towel properly laid out on their carpeting and whatnot. It does seem strange that we don't get more... But then again, maybe we are getting those types of people. We don't know. I mean, I'd say half of all people we pick up on the phone seem like they're surprised that we're answering.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think Creepy Creeper may still be thinking that every time he calls us, he's called a phone sex line.
Wow.
That's maybe how we found him to begin with. I didn't realize...
I should be getting paid then.
I'm shocked that those numbers are still there. I would have thought at this point all of those numbers would be long gone because it just seems like such an unnecessary dated technology, and also the people doing that. I would think. I mean, maybe you made some money at a time, like in the 80s, but I couldn't.
Can't. I mean, you have to call those numbers and then pay to talk to somebody on the phone and have phone sex. But now, can't you get live video streaming of somebody doing that for free?
You can get live. You go on Craigslist and find an actual live person to come over. It's like never been easier. You go on Tinder for 5 minutes, probably having sex by that night. Yeah. But maybe some people are into it, so I just didn't realize that. Well, I don't know which number it is, but I got to start testing this out now.
It's all the horny people that don't want to adjust to technology.
Hey, we've got... You're not kidding. Those are the worst type of people. They're super horny, but they're not willing to adjust to technology. So
they're still looking in the phone book for their phone sex line.
Some guy's still masturbating to his abacus. Carry the one?
Oh, yeah.
You know, a couple things. One is, yes, tomorrow we will be having couples in here, former couples that have broken up. There's still space available. We've been talking to some of these couples in the afternoon to figure out, of course, they've got to agree to both be here. If you've broken up, if you've been through a relationship that has come to an end, didn't have to be recently, could have been a couple years ago, and you'd like to reconcile for one night only. You meet here here for the day. We hear your story, and then one couple we will be sending to Live 105's Not So Silent Night. Does not mean you need to get back together. In fact, I think most of the couples that we've talked to,
we would not condone.
No, we would say they should not be back together. And oftentimes, one or both people are actually in another relationship.
Yeah, that's the best, though.
But it is interesting because everyone does Facebook stalking, sure. But the idea of getting back into the same room and then going to Live 105's Not So Silent Night together, who knows what sparks could fly. If you want in on that, 800-696-1053, or you can send us your stories, Kevin Klein Live at live105.com. And that'll be tomorrow for the final pair of golden tickets. We have a pair today to give you. Those will give you access to not only the show, but I think you get, I don't know what the seats are. I assume they're great seats too, but you also get
I don't know.
access.
Assume.
You'll probably be backstage most of the time anyway.
Yeah.
VIP lounges and everything else. So.
You've always been the one getting broken up with, right?
Yes, I've never broken up with a person ever. I would
Sometimes that's better, though, because one of the worst breakups I ever had was it was very, very one-sided, and that's what made it so bad, is that she was ready to move out to California, and we had only been dating for like 3 or 4 months, and we had dated for a little bit, and then I went on tour on the Fat and Frank tour.
And you wanted to break up with her.
Yes.
She stayed with you during all Fat and Frank?
She even visited me on the road.
And she saw what happened to you?
And she saw what happened to me. And she said, I love you.
Allie, you're cheating on me. How do you know? Well, it looks like you have another lover hidden inside of you. No, that's just me.
Cheating on me with Taco
starches,
Bell.
piles of mashed potatoes.
Yeah, but then after the tour, I moved back out to California, and she was like, I want to move too. And I was like,
boy.
I don't think this is working. And it was really, really hard.
She was
really,
blindsided, right?
she was totally blindsided. She was like, but I love you. I don't know what to do. And I was like, I'm sorry. And it was really awkward. And then when I started dating Katie, somebody actually knew her through a mutual connection. And they were like, oh, I've heard of that girl. She's a home wrecker.
Really?
And they called me a home wrecker because I had hurt this other person by breaking up with them so suddenly.
Yeah, the reputation.
And I heard she's fat.
Oh, you're Fat Anne Franco? Home wrecker. You mean the one in the attic? No. She wrecks the whole home. That's, look,
But if I had ever, that's somebody that I've never ever talked to after we broke up, and it would be super awkward if I was ever in the same room with her again. You know what I mean?
Well, of all of the people that have broken up with me, and there have been plenty, I have not kept up a relationship. I'm hard. I don't keep up a relationship with, I could move 2 blocks away, and if my best friend in the world was living next to me, I would probably never see them or talk to them again. I'm just very bad at that. I know I'm bad at it. Like, some people, I guess, are better at it. I'm not. I know it's really easy these days to
But I
text
try
message.
to hook up with people who are like that so that it balances out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we
you
know.
get friends
Right.
that always will reach out because they're good at that thing.
I just want to be honest with all you guys, especially Patrick. If this show, or God forbid, this show comes to an untimely end, and I don't think it will, at least in the near future, because maybe it won't be on Live 105. Who knows where we'll go next? But
we could go with El Nino.
People are seeming to enjoy the show. But if this thing splits apart, I will never talk to any of you ever again. And
that's so sad. But it's not because you don't want to. I understand.
It's not because I don't like all of you. I really genuinely enjoy hanging out with everyone. It's just that's the nature. That's just how it goes. And I'm especially bad at it. But with people that I used to have sex with that then have said to me, not only do I not want to have sex with you anymore, I don't ever want to see you. I mean, I don't want to date you and everything else. What am I supposed to keep up get in a group text session with them and send them emojis on their birthday? What am I supposed to? What am I?
Well, so most of them have said, I want to remain friends.
Well,
or
yeah.
no?
Well, yeah, you say that sort of thing, but that's.
I think
That's like when they say to kids, "You're all winners." No one means that, right?
I feel like with women dating women,
Yeah.
they mean it more. To stay friends.
Women dating women mean it.
Yeah. It's like, all right, we're going to break up, but I think we should still stay friends, especially because the whole lesbian incestual thing starts happening where everyone in the group of friends has dated each other at some time.
Well,
and you're all still friends.
That's my theory, is that with you gays, everyone's having sex with everyone anyway.
Yeah, and you're just like, well, I can't alienate all of you, so I guess we'll just stay friends.
I mean, you're all one apple teeny away from sleeping with each other, so it's going to happen sooner or later, right?
For me, it's bourbon, but yeah.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, that's right. I was talking about the guys, but for you, yes, of course, the bourbon, and then the next thing you know, you're right back at it. I mean, I feel like everything's just one song away from a giant orgy.
It is,
the right song hits at the right time.
Yeah, so you can't take it too personally when it doesn't work out.
But I have never, And I'm not saying I haven't run into an ex from time to time occasionally, and it's an awkwardly pleasant, like, hey, how's everything? Good, yeah, we should really get together sometime.
You're still doing that radio thing?
Oh, you still haven't found out what you really want to do with your life? Oh, yeah, it's a lot of that stuff. And then you go, all right, well, this was fun. And then you part ways. Because
do you do the fake, we should hang out?
I don't ever say that.
Really?
I don't think I say that. I've, of course, agreed to the fake hangout, but I do that with... How many times do you run into people, even around here, to be honest? I mean, how many people in this building...
Yeah, or even people upstairs that you never ever talk to. And they're like, we should hang out. And you're like, I don't even know your name.
You get crammed in the elevator. In fact, I met a guy... This is why I don't ever want to talk to anyone ever. I met a guy 2 weeks ago. I was getting a coffee right across the street, and the guy was wearing a Washington Redskins sweatshirt.
Oh.
And you don't see a lot of that on the West Coast.
So you sparked up a conversation.
And I never do this, and it was dumb, but it was right after they became first place, and they've already disappointed me since. But I said, hey, first place. Huh? You don't hear that every day. And the guy goes, oh, you're a Skins fan? I go, yeah, I'm from D.C. originally. And then talked, for 2 minutes, but already the conversation was going longer than I was comfortable with, to be honest. Like, he asked me 1 or 2 questions, and I just
all right, I'm done with you. All
I
right.
wanted to get no, he was a nice guy, and everything was fine. But he's opening up a grilled cheese restaurant. It couldn't have been more perfect for a guy like me.
Yeah.
He's opening up a grilled cheese restaurant in this neighborhood, and you know that we'll eat a lot of grilled cheeses because we're here all day.
Yeah. This is your new best friend right here, Kevin.
If I was gay, I would have probably said this is like my soulmate.
Have an appletini.
Excuse me, I'll take a grilled cheese and an appletini. I would imagine that's the feeling when someone meets a soulmate and they go like, you wouldn't believe it. We're in the same place at the same time. He's wearing a shirt of my favorite team. He's opening a grilled cheese restaurant, one of my favorite foods in the melted form. Couldn't be any better. He's not afraid of gluten. And then I said, all right, well, I got to go. We were coming back here to do something. I don't know, but I had to get back here, and I just said, here's my card, and he gave me
him your card?
Or he gave me his card or something. I forget what happened, but I sent an email. Next thing I know, I'm getting invited to go watch football now, and there's nothing wrong with this. This guy, for all I know, could be my next best friend in the whole world.
I know, but probably not, because the only time I ever did that, I ended up having a conversation with someone in line. I can't even remember where I was, but I started talking to this new guy who had just moved into the area, and it was like,
well, new people are the worst,
right,
because they don't know anyone.
And he was from Australia, and I was like, and he was like, I just moved here, and then we started talking. Yeah, it was Dead-Eye.
The conversation with Dead-Eyes, that is the worst.
And so we started talking, and then he said, oh, we should hang out. And I was like, yeah, we should. You never just meet people on the street that you end up being friends with. And he ended up being so weird.
Oh, and you actually got together with the guy?
Yeah, I actually hung out with him numerous times.
What, do you have a death wish?
Well, I'm just saying, now this guy wants to hang out with you. I'm just saying, don't do it, because you think that it's going to be this cool thing to meet somebody on the street and be friends with them, but they're probably a weirdo.
I know it happens. I'm sure there's people listening that will have a story of, like, I met a stranger, completely random. We talked because oftentimes you just don't talk anymore. Everyone stares at their phone and they pretend they don't see anyone else.
Yeah, so when you do have a conversation with somebody, it's exciting.
Yeah, but then as the conversation goes from minute 1 to minute 2, I go like, all right, well, I'm done here.
This is why I look at my phone instead of you.
And even yesterday, you called me out on it because we were here shooting some video for Live 105's Not So Silent Night, and we ran into whoever the meteorologist, the weather woman is on the news upstairs. And she's nice, and we hung out with her before. Went to a Warriors game with her, actually, like a year ago. Yeah. And I was in a conversation with her, and everything was going fine. And then I had a thing that went off in my head that goes, all right, this conversation needs to end now.
I know, but then you are so extravagant about it. You're like, all right, well, we have to go shoot this video. Come on, Patrick, let's go.
Because as someone who is oftentimes in a conversation with people that goes on far too long, and they don't have any sort of a gauge of how long this conversation is going on for. Like, in general, I'm not not talking about you specifically, but you. No, I'm talking about people in general. They don't have a clock. They don't have a timer in their head that says, all right.
I know, but you're also somebody that cannot deal with silence, so you can't deal with the conversation ending on your own. So you keep talking and bringing up new things, and then you're like, why won't this conversation end? But you're the one who keeps the conversation going.
Speaking of which, I wanted to bring up something. All right, thank you.
And then you're like, I gotta go.
I got a lot of flaws. Is that what this goal is here, what?
You're a walking contradiction.
All right, we will, walking. Are you kidding me? I'm way too lazy for that. I'm a sitting contradiction. Get it straight. It's Live 105. Someone wanted to point out to us cynics that a friend is just a stranger that you haven't met yet or something. Did I do that wrong?
That you haven't put a restraining order against yet?
A lot of people claiming that we're idiots. We get that a lot, but especially when it comes to this, they say, hold on, let me just see that. I'm still looking at all the texts coming through, the tweets coming through. We got a guy on the phone that's going through a divorce right now that wants to get in on our thing. Got a lot of people on the phone that have met strangers, I guess, that claim that they're now best friends, all because they started a conversation. But going in that you could end up murdered. Yeah, chopped up in the back of a shed. I mean, I'd say 85%, 90%. Anytime you meet a stranger, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's what my mom always told me.
Sometimes it's a tool shed, sometimes it's a garage.
No, it's always
up.
a shed. It's a shed or a hut. Those are your two options. That's the only question. What's going on with you, though? Hello? These phones working today?
Oh.
You being divorced? Who's this, Joe?
Call my ex-wife for future ex-wife. Ask her if she wants to be on the field.
Can't hear you at all. Are you on speaker?
I know it's a horrible weather. You probably should be on hands-free and all that, but could you get off that for us?
Is that better?
That's a little better. You're going through a divorce right now?
Yeah.
Wow. What was the cause?
Me.
Oh. Did you do something you weren't supposed to?
I had lied to her about some stupid
I think that's what marriage means, actually, when you translate it in Google. Lying about stupid S.
Yeah. Now she's lying to me all the time, so it's actually hilarious.
But what did you lie to her about that led to the divorce?
The actual lie itself was that I told her I was going to hang out with my buddy Mark, and I hadn't talked to him. But I really was going to hang out with him. I checked my cell phone, and she said, "You're not hanging out with Mark. You didn't talk to him."
So then she assumes you're cheating on her?
Yeah, absolutely.
And were you?
No.
That is unfortunate, though, when you get caught in a lie, especially about hanging out with a dude, and you're not hanging out with that dude, and maybe there's
I lied to her for that kind of so many times.
If you could stop saying that'd be great.
I have an affair with a guy, with my buddies. So I lied to her.
All right, well, I mean, we can kind of see the flaws in this relationship.
All right, hold on. Maybe she doesn't like how many times the guy said Dad, I talk to the guy who's cursing a lot on line 2 and find out, because maybe they're worth coming in tomorrow. Although I'm convinced if we have them in live.
Let's bring the swearing guy in. That's a great idea.
He likes the S word a lot, which unfortunately the FCC does not like us to say on this radio show. As a result, that's going to be a tough one. But I am interested in hearing the story.
Yeah, so this one guy said that in high school, in freshman year, he accidentally touched another guy's boob, I guess. And then the guy...
How does that happen accidentally?
I don't know.
That's weird.
This is very strange.
Yeah.
But the guy...
I've used that line with women many times.
I know.
Oopsies.
But I think this was a legit accident. He accidentally scooped another guy's boob, and the guy whose boob got scooped became obsessed with this texter, this guy who's texting, and he said he thought I was gay, and he got his zodiac sign tattooed on him, and he would follow him home. He said, moral of the story, don't be nice to people or scoop their boobs.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you started that relationship on the wrong cupping, I would imagine.
On the wrong boob.
Hey, Nestor and Hayward, what's up?
Nestor?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How you doing?
Doing pretty good. So, I was telling, when they were doing the prequel to this, me and my buddies went to EDC in Las Vegas 2 years ago for the first time.
Well, that doesn't count. If you're all on Molly, of course you're going to make friends with every stranger in the room.
Yeah.
That's like a performance-enhancing drug when it comes to meeting strangers.
And then you sober up and you realize you don't want to talk to these people.
Yeah, but you're into the same thing, so all you got to do, if every time you're together, you just pop a bunch of pills and dance to techno. I get it, but I'm sure you have a different story, right?
Yeah, that's totally not the case. That's not what happened at all.
Oh, okay. What did happen?
So we just bumped into these girls. They're all, and we trade numbers. I forgot to save it. The whole way back, I'm thinking, oh my God, I should have saved this girl's numbers. This is a net. 2 months later, they hit us back up. There's a concert happening at the Shoreline, and they asked us if we're going. I couldn't remember who they were or where they were from. So I debated it with my buddies, like, should we try to meet up with these people? I don't remember who they are. They say we met, but I don't know what happened. So we finally all decide.
Boring. Oh, come on. Allie's grandma says you're being boring. Oh,
Grandma.
I know. She came back all the way just to say the story was boring. Why would she do that? I wanted to hear how it ended. That was a good... Sarah at Berkeley.
Hi.
Hi.
No, I just wanted to say that I think this whole hanging out thing and bumping into people, that I think that's a California thing, because I've talked to lots of other people from lots of other states, and they say it weirds them out that when they move to California, that people, smile and
They're
say
too
hello
friendly.
and want to hang out.
Yeah.
And it freaks them out.
Yeah, but then when you grow up in that environment and then you go somewhere like New York, you're like, everyone is so mean. Why won't anybody look at me?
I did notice that. It was fascinating. My first day driving around this city, I think I accidentally cut off a guy on his bicycle, or maybe it was on purpose. I'm not sure exactly what my mood was at the time. And in any other place, especially on the East Coast, that guy would have been like, F your mother.
Yeah.
And this guy, like, as he's riding by, almost falling off his bike, he's like, I'm sorry. I was like, Jesus, these people are so
I
friendly.
own a startup. I'll hook you up.
I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah,
All right.
somebody else on the text line said, I'm so not used to people talking to me that when someone complimented me yesterday, my first reaction was to punch them in the shoulder when he touched mine.
Yeah, that is a weird thing, man.
But touching is no.
No, I agree you don't touch, but even someone just starts talking to me that I'm not expecting, and it's not in a service, like it's not like I'm ordering something at Chipotle and the guy's like, you're going to get horrible diarrhea in 3 hours. If it's just a random person that's talking to you, I always assume there's something going on. Like, I'm going to get to what's the real point of this? You just want friendly conversation?
Right.
Well,
but
come
I think
on, what is this?
middle-aged women have carte blanche to talk to anybody. Like if you're a single, maybe not necessarily single, but if you're like a middle-aged woman, you're just chatty. You're just chatty and you're in line and you want to talk to everybody.
And that explains why you're a single middle-aged woman. People are out there now trying to figure out exactly which number they need to misdial by calling us to get to the sex line. It's got to be one of them. I would imagine it has something to do with the fact that our number starts 1-800-69. I think once you get that involved, you pretty much any word you spell after that becomes something quite sexual.
Yeah, but also don't look that hard.
It's not worth finding out. We don't care. Although Deadice did point out a very interesting thing as he was going through the process, the research as well, is that not only are a ton of these numbers still active, which I was shocked to find out about, because it just seems like it would be like someone checking their pager in front of you, and you've been like, really? This is a horny drug dealer now that's not kept up with the technology?
Hold on, I'm paging a sex number.
But wait, I got to turn it upside down. It says boobless. It's really hot. The concept is so dumb and asinine. However, and this is what's interesting about it, he claims that some of the numbers that you would think would result in dirty talk actually are legitimate businesses, kind of like we are here at, well, I don't know if I'd say legitimate, but we are a business of sorts at Live 105.
Okay, so it's hard to differentiate, I guess.
I'm going to ask you to guess this, and then I will dial it. And if you want to play this with us, 800-696-1053, but dial very carefully. And if you're right, then I'm going to give you, you just guess. Do you want me to try to dial 1-800-FUN-TIME, 1-800-HOT-FEET, or 1-800-BIG BRAS?
Big bras. Okay,
now they could all be legitimate businesses.
Wait, what was the first one?
A Fun Time.
I think Fun Time could be either one, because it could be a sex line or it could be like a party hotline.
You would think that about our number too. Yeah, of course. You got to get a bouncy house or something like that, or 2 bouncy houses. Which give me
if you're an over the top parent.
Or 1-800-SPANK ME.
Okay, Spank Me's got to be.
But maybe it spells something else. Maybe someone got that number thinking it spelled something else altogether.
Maybe it's a commercial line for Spanx.
Yeah. Do you have a bunch of fat hangs out of you? You want to suck it all in?
I'm sure that's how it starts.
That could be either one.
Do you have a bunch of fat all over you? You called the right number.
I'm going to dial one of these right now. Which
okay,
one?
which are you going to do the party one?
You give me the number, and then you predict what do you think it'll be. And if you want to play this with us, 800-696-1053, you could win something from Live 105 today.
Actually, I think I'm most interested in big bras.
All right. Do you think that's going to be a phone sex, or do you think it's going to be a legitimate business?
Phone sex, 100%.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. Big bras? Oh, but I guess it could be a bra business.
I don't think it's going to be phone sex. I don't think it's going to have anything to do with bras at all, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, no chance. I bet you.
Why not?
I bet you it's a free cruise. Everything's a free cruise these days. I'm going to lock it on free cruise.
We know how that goes.
Hold on. This is the big bras. Okay. Bear with me, because dialing is not. I'm not good at that. I got the 1-800 part. G.
You're used to that.
B-R-A-S. All right.
Oh, the hottest live action is right here.
Big bras?
Nasty
Who would
girls
call that?
Take it any way
That's not even
you
hot.
want. Your most unspeakable pleasures await you.
Oh.
So come on in.
Okay.
Experienced callers, enter your credit card number at any time.
Oh, right to the credit card.
Oh, man.
All your desires.
You know, she's sitting at home in her living room right now.
You can give it to me anytime.
Okay,
And
all right.
she's going to call Spanx because she's probably 1,000 pounds.
Why would someone call big like that's not even that hot of a term? Like big boobs, I get maybe, but big bras.
Yeah, but some people are into sniffing bras and wearing them and all kinds of crazy
That's
stuff.
still like someone's pay. Like that must be a business that is operational because there are people using it, right? It can't just sit. There can't just be a woman waiting around who hasn't had a phone call in years.
Yeah, but some of these people like work from home, so they're just at the grocery store hanging out, and then they get a phone sex call, and they're like, "Oh, hold on a second, hi."
Any chance these people that do this are the same people that will also be like customer service for? Because a lot of times we call like JetBlue or they call like an airline, and they have this whole thing about they let people work at home. Any
Just hope they don't get their jobs crossed.
Oh, it's got to happen.
I need to cancel
right?
my flight. Oh yeah, you got to cancel it.
$10 fee credit card. I'm gonna try Fun Time. You think Fun Time is sex or no?
Yeah.
You do?
No. I don't think it is. I think Fun Time is a business.
I bet you Fun Time is sex.
Really?
Yes.
Hey, you're getting good at this.
Hello, and please listen carefully as our menu options may have changed.
Yes! That's sex.
Calls are recorded for quality assurance.
This is sex.
This will only take a moment.
Definitely sex. Only take a moment.
Are you or is someone in your household 50 years of age or older?
Oh, okay, all right.
You are qualified for a free medical alert system.
Okay, that's not
You
sex.
know, it's the little
All right, that's
button.
right. Medical alert system.
Ooh, now
I
hold
forgot.
on. I'm getting a little excited here.
All right. So it's interesting, though. We'll get into it in a moment, all right? There's a lot to get. Hey, the weather is horrible today, and I feel the same about El Nino that I do feel about robots. If we're nice to them, they will not destroy us all. Which is why we've got the Live 105 weather team all around the Bay Area right now. I don't know how we were able to do this, but it was very, very nice of volunteer weather people to report the storm for us.
They're just sitting around volunteering for stuff.
And I know that, it's easy to find the weather these days. You can go ahead and look on your phone right now. But to hear professionals add some drama to the situation that you're dealing with right now is that much more important. And it's another Live 105 member of the Kevin Klein Live weather team out. This guy is North Bay. Yes, hi, what's happening?
Yeah, this storm was just enormous. We were located about 3 to 4 miles inland, and we certainly had to retreat back into our base, our camp, because things got too bad. You can only imagine what it was like here along the coastline where storm surge flooding, we're getting reports now, was anywhere between 25 to 30 feet at its highest.
Oh my God.
Water certainly surpassing many of the roofs here.
Jeez, I didn't realize it was that bad.
I thought at any second he was just going to be swept away. You're like, it's on the roof!
Well, we've gone through 4 different weather reporters on this morning's show already, and it's only 7:20, so go figure. Golden tickets to Live 105's Not So Silent Night. We got them, and we need to give them away, because we can't use them, we work here. I know, we're not happy about that either.
Tried.
We'll do that coming up in a few, and more importantly, you can differentiate between a work number and a jerk number. Now's the time to call us and do it very carefully. 800-696-1053. We'll get into that, find out what's trending, and much mo on Live 105. Oh, also Van News coming up today. Yay. Can't wait for next Muse Day. That's right, Tuesday, when Muse will be performing. I don't even think they're going to give us time.
What are you doing next Muse Day?
Muse Day, Muse will be at Oracle for a show in the round. We will be there, and one of our listeners that was lucky enough to not only get tickets, but got the opportunity, I forget, it was a woman, right, that we picked at random to come on stage with us and introduce the band.
I don't think she was particularly excited about announcing that.
I don't think she wanted to do it. In fact, we should probably check in with her and find out what her current mental state is, and maybe we should make sure that she's well rested. It's going to be a very important job to bring out Muse in the round where people will be looking at her from every side. I mean, imagine any flaws she's trying to keep hidden away.
Yeah.
Can't do it. I know a lot of people
don't wear the granny panties
on the phone would like to get in on the game, a work line or a jerk line, and we'll get into that as well. There's so many numbers here, like 1-800-ME-NAKED and Tip Drip. I don't know. They all sound
Tip
really.
drip?
They all sound really filthy, but some of them, I guess, take you to actual legitimate offices. Who knew?
Someone said one of my roommates is a phone sex operator, and she used to do it while she was breastfeeding. We think that it's pretty funny. See, they do it at all different locations. They don't need to be sitting in a call center somewhere.
I just am shocked that in 2015, almost 16, that is going. There's some things I get it, and I'm like,
but I'm saying that's just one of a million things that people are doing.
Well, remember I was talking about how I think it's weird people even have conversations anymore with each other. Like that, I find that strange. Strangers talking to strangers. This is even stranger than that.
Yeah.
And that is really weird.
Someone is claiming that another radio station is stealing one of our
Of course.
things.
I'm not surprised. Well, no one's done anything interesting in this town in a long time. And then we came here and we started actually doing things other than just reading TMZ. And all of a sudden people are like, hey, maybe we should start doing that because they're noticing. People are noticing slowly that the audience is trickling and they're making their way over here. And that's fine. Go ahead.
Do you want to know what it is?
Yes, I do, but let me just start with this. Everything we do on the show, I dare any other radio station to do because you will not do it as well. And let me say this also. There's very few people on the radio in this town, if any, that are actually naturally funny or interesting people.
Yeah.
They're bores, a lot of them, and that is why they hope.
And that'll be at the heart of everything they do.
They hope that Taylor Swift falls down, or that Kim and Kanye have another kid, so that they can come up with nonsense to talk about. That frankly, you could go ahead and spend 5 minutes on TMZ, and you could get everything that they're going to cover. But what is it? What is it that they're doing?
94.9 is apparently stealing the "Is It Funny" bit.
Okay.
Just heard them clowning Lamont and Tonelli.
Oh,
because
wonderful.
they are losers.
Yep. Is it funny? Something that we've been doing for some time. In fact, we did it. I think that was the show we did it with. Last time we did Is It Funny? It was a clip of that show, laughing hysterically at something that was very unfunny. Oh, fine. Good.
I'm fine.
Go. Take all the bits you want and try them out, and you will be missed.
Well, I would love it if they did our show.
Live, hi.
Hi, good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
This is Victor in San Jose.
What up, Victor?
I'm just calling to say hi, see how he's doing, and say that I really love your show. I think you guys are as funny as hell. I'm going to need the number for that jerk line, though, too. But not to leave a nasty message. I think your staff is really wonderful, and you guys really give them a hard time, and they put up with it, and they still pull through.
That is very nice to say. That's true.
Also completely inaccurate. They are not. They're horrible.
Well, I don't know. You guys really give your staff a bad time about dating and everything else and everything, but I mean, it is pretty darn funny.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. By the way, thank you, Victor, for the nice words.
Okay.
The jerk line number is 415-851-JERK.
Okay, I'm on it.
Go do it. That's not a dirty number. We should point out that's the number to leave messages for us, okay? And we should check that more often than we do. Trendosaurus, I know what for He said that we give our staff a hard time. I assume he's talking about Useless Weirdo. And yesterday, I saw the picture.
He's the only staff that we
That's our staff. That's our staff right there. You can tell things are going well when your staff is a guy who goes by the name Useless Weirdo, Wing Fingers, Turd Camel, and backs it with traffic. Hey, Patrick?
Yeah?
A lot of controversy yesterday. He went out and did an Eating with the Hungry right around this time yesterday, and it was the banana chocolate-covered M&Ms that are not even available outside of Australia.
And he said he couldn't find anybody because the homeless people don't want to ruin their already bad teeth.
Right. He was very offensive to them and to us, etc. And then before we could give the guy Patrick's phone, which is the nicest thing you could do around the holidays, is give your phone to a less fortunate. You'd grab your phone and came back here. I saw the picture that went up last night on our Twitter of the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone started saying, "There's no way there's no way that guy's homeless." The guy, I think he brought the hardest item we've come across. I mean, this is an 8,000 mile away food item that you can't get, and he gave it to a guy that is 100% not homeless. And
but sometimes you don't think people are.
No, look at the picture. If you look at the picture of this guy.
Yes, I did.
This guy's wearing a nice leather jacket.
It's not leather. That is not leather.
Yes, you've gone. I think you've gotten so lazy now, or you got so tired of being rejected by the homeless population. You went up to a guy that was on his way to his office job. He's wearing a leather jacket. He's got on a nice scarf. That guy's better dressed than I am any day of the week.
What do you do? I'm a food critic.
Oh, perfect. That's the whole reason we started doing Eating with the Hungry. We were so tired of all these bloggers and food critics getting all the good stuff. We said, let's give it to the hungry people that actually want to eat something. And you went and gave it to a guy that looks like he's very well off.
Are you kidding me? He had himself a cup with a sign saying, "Can you spare some change? I am homeless."
He wrote all that on his cup?
No, he had that on a cardboard sign.
I didn't see any of that in the picture.
Can you spare... No, just going with the old standard, can you spare some change? I am homeless.
Is that really what his cup said?
No, but you get the idea. I didn't memorize it.
I think that is a regular... I think you gave our delicious M&M treats to a man with a home and a job.
Well, if his job is panhandling, then he does a great job at it.
Do you have any other pictures of the guy? Because the one that I saw went up on Twitter, this guy is... I am convinced.
No, I think that, but like, if he has a nice jacket, sometimes homeless people have that one really nice thing that they've held on to for years. You know what I mean?
It's a nice. It's not just the jacket. You can see it in his face. He's well groomed. He's well manicured. He's got everything about this guy. He could be, as far as I'm concerned.
You're being stereotypical. Maybe he's a homeless guy who just likes to stay clean and keep trim.
You said homeless chic?
I'm saying it's very possible. There has been a game played that on this show that was homeless or hipster.
Yes.
And a lot of it was asking them, what are you wearing right now? So it's very similar.
All I'm saying is I think you gave and we can never get that item again. Like, Dead Eyes would have to go back to Australia now to get more of those M&Ms.
Oh, fine. Go back to Australia.
I don't think yesterday's review was legitimate. That's all I want to say. That's all I'm saying. I think you failed us again. But
I think when we talked to him on the phone, he seemed
like a nice guy. I mean, they all seemed like nice, appreciative guy. He didn't seem homeless on the phone. No.
You don't think so?
No. Now that I think about it, you got to see this picture. It's on the Twitter. I put it on Instagram or Facebook or something. But this guy, I'm saying, there's not one thing about this guy that says homeless.
Maybe people are like, there's these guys giving out free food. If you pretend you're homeless, they'll give you anything. Yeah, they'll give you these brand new foods for free.
It's much easier than going to Australia. And people were asking, how do we get those? Look great. I'm telling you, you can't get them. You got to be in Australia. Yes, Treadosaurus. What's trending right now?
Okay, so the Golden Globe and the SAG Award nominees have been announced, which gives us a glimpse of what to expect at the Oscars. We'll start with SAG. Surprisingly, Sarah Silverman was nominated for Best Actress for her film I Smile Back. Also, Straight Outta Compton was nominated for Best Ensemble. Leonardo DiCaprio was nominated for the film Revenant, in which he sleeps inside of a naked inside of an animal's carcass. I guess that'll get you nominations. But many were surprised that The Martian was not nominated.
See, if the guy was inside of an animal carcass yesterday, I would have said he's probably homeless. But he was wearing it was like a nice leather blazer or something like that. I mean,
he could have slept in the carcass and then he made a jacket out of it.
I didn't see any carcasses anywhere. I'm just saying. Based on that picture, it looked like a guy that was a tourist who came back with some delicious M&Ms.
So anyway, The Martian was not nominated for SAG Awards, but it was nominated for Best Comedy for Golden Globes, and Matt Damon was nominated for Best Actor.
Hold on. The Martian was nominated for Best Comedy?
Best Comedy. This is when those weird blurred lines happen, like the whole Orange is the New Black thing. Is it a drama? Is it a comedy? Is it both?
He did grow food in his own poop.
Yeah, that was funny.
I guess that is funny. I guess when they're deciding if it's a comedy or not, they're like, well, it's kind of dramatic and the guy was stuck in space, but do you remember the time he grew potatoes in his own poop?
He ate potatoes.
Yeah, that's right. There's potatoes. Comedy.
Comedy, hilarious.
Definitely comedy.
All right, in the drama category, Patrick's favorite movie, Mad Max, was nominated for Golden Globe, and was the Animal Carcass movie.
Oh, good.
That one with Leonardo DiCaprio. Which I guess people that are screening that movie are already walking out of it.
Is that bad?
Yeah. Well, he also apparently, I don't know if this is true, you have to see it, but that he gets sexually assaulted by a bear.
Oh.
It's supposed to be a true story.
Well, I know this.
Those movies are way too
May he rest in peace, but when I used to talk to Rowdy Roddy Piper, he told me that one of his early wrestling matches was with a bear.
Oh.
And the bear did also sexually assault him.
Really?
Yes.
This is based on a true story, and I don't know if this really happened to the guy, but in the story, the guy gets mauled by a bear and left for dead, and it's about how he survives. Which I assume. So, I mean, I guess getting sexually assaulted by a bear in the woods is not completely unheard of.
Maybe that's why you wear the carcass around, to let the bears know what happens. If more people walked around wearing a Cosby carcass, he would have gotten the hint.
I just feel like at this point, Leonardo DiCaprio is reading any script that's crazy enough to get him some kind of win, and he's like, "Ew, I'm sleeping naked inside of an animal carcass. Sign me up." All right. People have been studying the Mona Lisa for a good long while now, but one man who has been studying it for a decade claims he has made a breakthrough discovery. He says that he has used layer amplification technology, and he has found a hidden portrait underneath the painting that we know and love. The image is of another woman who looks similar. She's a seated female figure who is looking off to the side instead of straight ahead, and she is unsmiling. And he claims this woman is the real Mona Lisa. And the Louvre has declined to comment because they are not part of the scientific team. But it could be a big Mona Lisa breakthrough.
This is the classic art exhibit of what we do nowadays when you take a group photo and you try to put your better-looking friend to block out the less good-looking friend in the group shot.
It's like the very first Instagram filter, basically.
Yeah, it's what it is. It's just a better... Yeah,
He's she should smile a little bit.
The filter's called A Different Woman, and they painted over... It's probably hard to make a canvas back then, and I'm sure you had to do a lot of things, you had to kill things, so they just painted... So imagine the woman that was telling everyone else, I'm the real woman there. And everyone's like, oh, shut up. That's Lisa. And she's like,
get back to sweeping the floors, ugly.
Yeah. Hey, quiet down, ugly. No one saw you hanging in a museum.
Like, people wonder why I never smile.
And then she Snaggletooth. Hey, Snaggletooth, you've been replaced. Lisa, get in here.
This beautiful picture of Lisa. All right, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's sliced chocolate. It's chocolate that comes in the form of a Kraft single, just like the cheese, and the internet is going crazy over it. Instead of having a grilled cheese sandwich, you can make yourself a grilled choco sandwich thanks to a company called Bourbon in Japan. Their slogan is cut, roll, wrap, on, suggesting the many uses for sliced chocolate. You can melt it on your bread. You can cut it into shapes and put it on crackers for a mid-afternoon snack, or just unwrap it and enjoy like any good loser.
Well, we should get ourselves some of that, and then Useless Weirdo can go ahead and hand it to someone who's got a job and a nice leather coat. Someone defending Useless Weirdo, Miss Lindsay Renee on Twitter saying, dude, look at the guy's fingernails. The fingernails tell the story. He's definitely homeless. Someone else saying, not true at all. And as far as radio show stealing our bits, someone else pointed out, Fernando and Greg stole your segment Today in Gay, and they're stretching it through their entire show. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Oh,
wonderful.
Damn it.
We'll come back in a moment and start the giving process. And golden tickets to Live 105's Not So Silent Night are happening after this. But first, more weather updates, this time from Game of Thrones.
Now it's time for your Game of Thrones weather forecast.
And winter is coming.
This has been your Game of Thrones weather report.
That band will be taking AT&T Park in front of Metallica the day before the Super Bowl. For those of you that don't think Coldplay rocks hard enough, well, then you'll have that opportunity. We got a ton of tickets for that, and we'll be hooking you up with those as we get into the beginning of 2016. In fact, I don't actually know what we have and when, but I know that there's a lot more of those that we have, and we've been holding on to them because that's a sold-out show. Golden tickets could be yours in moments here on Live 105 as well, to Live 105's Not So Silent Night. Also sold out, an opportunity to win those throughout the show today and tomorrow. If you're in a relationship or were in a relationship that has ended and you would like the awkward reunion with your ex to be a little bit less awkward and a little bit more public, tomorrow we're going to have some couples that have broken up getting back together. We're calling it an Xmas miracle. You and your ex back together again.
In the same room.
In the same room, not throwing dishes at each other, and potentially going to Live 105's Not So Silent Night tomorrow night.
It actually makes me happy we don't have a lot of stuff in the studio for people to throw.
It's one of the finest things about working for a radio station that spends $0 on your show is that you don't have things to throw at each other. That was probably their master plan.
That's a glass half full situation.
They really could use working computers and printers and office supplies. No. Eventually they'll just throw them at each other.
No, when they get fired, they're going to throw them and break them.
Let's give them nothing and make them do a show every day. So anyway, we're looking for that. If you've got a story you want to share with us, you can text in your info, 36105. Email it to us, kevinkleinlive@live105.com. Already got some fascinating ones. Earlier this morning, chatted with a guy who's going through a divorce right now. Doesn't even know if the wife will take or the future ex-wife, I guess, will take the call. And these are people...
They're breaking up because he lied about stupid S.
Stupid S. And he says the word S a lot. We should also mention that this does not mean you're getting back together. We're not trying to get you back together. There's a lot of reasons why relationships end, and oftentimes they're for good reasons. But every once in a while, there's a story there. Like, you didn't get over the fact that if so-and-so was sleeping with your sister behind your back, now's a good time.
We want to get to that.
Now's a good time to get over that. So we will do all of that. Also, we found out earlier this morning, shockingly enough, that someone trying to call our show got in touch with a phone sex line accidentally, which I'm not surprised now that I think about it, because our number starts 1-800-69, and I don't know what 61053 spells, but if it spells anything or anything one number off spells something, trust me, it's a phone sex line.
You know, someone else on the text line pointed out that a lot of these phone sex numbers, they will purposely make their numbers similar to like Chase Bank and other businesses, because they want you to misdial them and be like, fine, I'll take this phone sex.
I was gonna deposit a check, but instead I'll just deposit something into my hand. When could you ever need actual service and then you would, like, I guess I understand, okay, let me say this. I understand going online to do something that I actually need to do and then getting myself down that rabbit hole of, oh, well, look what auto-filled here. Wow, I'm already here. Oh, that looks interesting. Haven't seen that before.
Yeah, but when you're making a phone call, you just want to get that chore done.
You want to be done with it. And then you're like, I don't think it's... And also, you'd have to be in the exact right place for that to happen. If you're at
like
work,
in the middle of a department store. Well, all right.
yeah, all right. I accidentally dialed. I guess I got hot sluts on the phone.
Go to the fitting room now.
Let's find out how good our audience is at figuring out if this is a work line or a jerk line, and your chance to win from us here on Live 105. We'll start with Cole in Corte Madero. Has been on the phone for a long time. Hey, Cole.
Hey.
I'll give you the number, and all you have to do is tell us working or jerking, and we'll dial it together, and that will determine whether or not you win.
Working and jerking is kind of the same thing, though, right?
Yes, it does sound like the same thing, but very, very different in this particular case. 1-800-ME-NAKED. We'll start with 1-800-ME-NAKED.
Oh.
Now, grammatically, it's not correct. Me naked, not we naked. Me naked.
Oh, okay.
Is that going to be, if I dial that number right now, will that be an office? Will that be someone offering a free cruise? Or will that be someone who wants personal private time with me for 99 cents a minute?
Me naked. I think that's a work number.
I was going to say work number.
Work number. We naked is definitely a work number.
You think we naked is work? I do think, though, that naked gets used a lot these days to mean healthy, right? Don't a lot of companies like to say naked when their product doesn't have chemicals in there?
I mean, we naked could be naked juices.
All right, let me dial. What is it? What do we say? 1-800-ME? Me naked? Me naked. If I spell correctly, that'll be the real question here. All right.
I can't believe you've gotten all of these right.
He said sex line? He said work.
No, he said work.
Okay, let's find out.
Thank you for calling the Baldwin and Lyons Help Desk.
Oh,
our normal hours of operation are 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. The next available help desk technician will assist you shortly.
All right, all right, that sounds like work.
Press 1 for sex.
That is the most boring phone sex operator ever. But it's the Baldwin Help. Hey, congratulations, Cole. You win. Hold on. That was really easy. Me naked. I wouldn't have guessed that. And I guarantee you they have no idea that's what their number spells either.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it probably spells something else altogether.
Well, because each number has 3 different letters attached to it, so it could spell out a number of different things, not just me naked.
Well, the Baldwin Help Desk, we get a lot more business if they put up the billboard 1-800-ME naked. I'm just saying.
Now we know about the Baldwin Help Desk. We didn't before.
Absolutely true. Hey, Will in San Carlos. Will, how you doing? Oh, that's Elena. Hey, Elena.
Hey.
What's going on? You're next. We'll get to Will on deck. Elena, you ready to go?
I am so ready.
All right. 1-800-YES-ORGY.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to go jerk line.
All right, she says jerk. Interesting.
I think it's jerk.
Yes, orgy. That's a lot too to get into because that's a phone. You got to make a phone call and you got to be with
you got to do call waiting.
Other people involved. Hold on, it's not an orgy yet. We need to wait for 3 more people join us.
Okay, no, merge the calls. No, merge them.
I said merge. Merge. What? You need more?
Okay, is everyone here? All right.
1-800.
I'm touching your boob. Lisa's boob? No, Jason's.
Who'd want to have a phone orgy? I mean, a real life orgy is like difficult enough to maneuver around. A phone one?
It's just like a bad conference call.
Mom, I'm on the phone. I'm having an orgy. Hang up.
Hey there.
Oh.
I've been waiting for your call. Are you ready for some tantalizing fun?
Hold on.
Well, me and my sexy girlfriends are hot, wet.
Oh
my God!
Party.
A lot of descriptions
we can
there.
play privately, one-on-one.
Okay. Wait. Why would you go one-on-one if you're calling the orgy?
I know.
Hey, Elena, you nailed it. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Elena knows. Hold on 1 second.
And they're about to nail it.
Hooked up as well. Elena, you will get yourself a free 5-minute phone call with those hot and ready women right there on the 1-800-YES-ORGY. All right, the next one. I don't know. I would lose so much money. I've been wrong every time.
Yeah, you have. Yes, orgy. I'm actually surprised, though.
Will?
What's up, Kevin?
All right, here we go. Get this right. 1-800-HOT-FEET.
Wow. I have to say that's got to be a work line.
All right. I mean, it could be an accurate work line. They do sell those foot warmers for skiers and whatnot. but I would imagine that 1-800-HOT-FEET.
Hot feet. I mean, but there are a lot of fetish
lines out there. You know what I think about feet.
I know you love them.
Find them to be disgusting. Absolutely. Even the hot ones I find to be disgusting. So, all right, he says a work line. Let's find out. Hot feet. I think probably work as well.
Are you ready for live, nasty, hot sex
Oh.
action?
Oh, my
You've come to the right place. I know just how you like it, baby. And I'll do anything
How old is this woman?
you want.
70?
Just 69 cents per minute for a
so
For a
cheap.
69-year-old.
That's a penny a year. It's like trying to tell a tree's age. Just cut into it, it just rings.
My feet and their bunions are ready for you.
Let me just peel off my Dr. Scholl's so we can get into some hot feet fun here.
Somebody say corns.
Wow, I'm sorry. That is not a win right there. You that's actually something you could brag about. I did not win on the radio. How did you lose?
Yeah.
I thought hot feet was work line.
Legitimate business.
Turns out it's actually a sex line. I'm shocked, by the way, that all of these exist. And the one thing I've also noticed that they all have in common, they don't ring at all when it's sex. They want to get right to it. They want to get right to you putting in your credit card.
Because with every ring, you second guess yourself.
All right, we will let Tess be the final contestant. Hey, Tess.
Hi.
All right. How have you been? Have you been winning on hold or no?
I have.
Okay. I will give you the option. You can pick your number. Do you want us to call 1-800-UPSKIRT or 1-800-SPANK-ME?
I will do Upskirt.
Okay. Do you think Upskirt is a business, or do you think Upskirt is going to be a work or a jerk?
I think it is a work.
Upskirt.
Upskirt. Upskirt is
I'm on the fence.
That's a new phenomena, the upskirt photos.
Yeah.
And phone sex is an old phenomenon. Was it even a phenomenon? I don't know.
I think people have been looking up skirts for a long time, but the term upskirt, I think, is newer.
What is this? What am I doing?
1-800-UPSKIRT.
That's the one. Okay, 1-800-UPSKIRT. All right. She says she thinks it's a work. It's a business, a place of actual employment.
I guess we'll see.
Let's see here. The hardest part of this game, by the way, I can't even read. All of our phone keys are like faded completely, so I'm trying to read these little numbers that are faded off right now. RT. Upskirt.
Thank you for calling the corporate office. If you know the 4-digit extension number of the person with whom you want to speak, please dial that number now.
You win, Tess. Hold on, all right? Congratulations. That's very exciting. Wow, what an exciting day.
Wow.
And what a boring corporate office. Was that the most generic
Welcome to
business
the
ever?
corporate business office.
Man, we couldn't even come up with a name for our office. But we did get the phone number 1-800-UPSKIRT, so things are going well.